Max RPG Podcast. I'm in Max. Pursuing the RPG hobby with reckless abandon.
Hello. Welcome to Happy Jack's RPG Podcast, Season 19, Episode 8. My name is Stu.
My name is Gina.
This is Jib.
Stork. Hey.
And let me mess with things. Hold on.
Yeah, we're having some sound issues today. And we can't find
I have to reroute all of the tables after.
Yeah, no matter what we do, we seem to be able to hear that Jib guy.
reroute.
You hear that? You hear that? The people will hear that noise.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do to get rid of it.
It's not a crowd
It's
cheering.
a little better. It kind of sounds like that.
That's
I'm gonna pretend that that's what it is.
That's our adoring fan.
A fan.
Yeah.
Tens of them.
In this episode of Happy Jack's RPG Podcast, Jim from Portland asks a performance anxiety question and shares a picture.
Thank you for being so brave to talk about this, Jim. I appreciate that. What?
Taylor on from Newfoundland, Newfies, asks about GM ADHD.
You know what? Newfies are my favorite dog. They really are.
Right.
I guess the place is nice too.
Yes. Isn't that where Great Big C's from?
Great Big Sea?
Yeah, they're from.
I think so.
I think they're from Newfoundland.
It looks like a pretty place from the pictures I've seen.
It's kind of austere.
Well, yeah.
It's not quite Icelandic, but it's very austere and kind
You know,
of
funny
unique,
thing.
sort of windswept shores. Yes.
Funny thing, Iceland is green and
Yes.
Greenland is covered with ice.
Yes.
Go figure.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Irony. It's irony.
It was early advertising.
I think the first people that went to Iceland, which is green, probably went, yeah, we don't want anybody else here. So, Iceland,
Well,
don't come here.
The other theory is that,
full of ice.
Greenland had a lot of trees or had enough trees, but the way the Vikings would the way the Vikings would live is they would cut down trees, turn them into charcoal, but trees don't grow back very fast, and
Is
they
your mic
denuded all the
is
trees.
my
Really?
cable pinched or something?
I don't know.
I'm getting a noise.
It's got a sheep shank in it.
Yeah, that's Kimmy's fancy knot.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, it is.
I'm getting like a.
So it doesn't go away.
I don't know what to tell you.
Because she said it's super long.
I got nothing.
Is that better?
Maybe we'll see. I think so. Oh wait. Thank you for joining us for season 19, episode 8 of Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. My name is Stu.
Oh, this is Gina.
Oh, Jib.
And I am still Stork. Can you reach over
Stork.
and smack? Can you just hit him on the back
No,
of
we're
the
good.
head?
We're good. It's all good now.
All right.
We're okay here. In this episode of Happy Jack's RPG Podcast,
Okay.
Jim from Portland asks for a performance anxiety question and shares a picture.
And I still applaud that. I really do.
Taylor on, and it happened again. Every time you start talking, it happens. There's something must be wrong with that mic line.
You know what that means?
Yeah, we have to fix it.
No, it means I don't talk.
No, yeah.
No.
Taylor on from Newfoundland asked about GM ADHD. Drail88 asked for some recommendations
Newfies.
for a system for some newbies. And Jeffrey with 1E shares a horror story. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. That's happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. This audio thing is going to piss me off. We're on Twitter, happyjacksrpg, all one word. Also on Instagram, happyjacksrpg, all one word. We don't have a Mastodon account yet because
What happened?
I have a feeling we would all get banned. People get banned on that easy. And we're
Really?
also on the Facebook.
Have you tooted yet?
Yeah. No, I actually haven't. I haven't tooted. I'm still building up one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm
me.
getting it. Is it you?
Yeah, well, look. Just
Gina, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you thank you, Gina. But seriously.
It's my blazer.
Oh, right.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah,
what I
no,
thought.
I was just
Oh, it
like,
might
I
be-
touch my blazer and it goes pop, pop, pop. So
I wonder if there's a
I'll just stand
short in
very
that
still.
line somewhere
Okay.
or something. I don't know. This is driving
I'll
me
sit
crazy.
very still.
And I'm sure it's making it out onto the... I'm sure they're hearing this out there. If you'd like to watch us live, you can watch us at happyjacks.org/live. Therein you can find the Twitches and the YouTubes. And go to either of those things and watch the show. Hello, chat room. It's nice to see you there. Those of you that are there.
Hello.
I'm going to do like romper.
Yes.
I see Zach from
Yes.
San Diego. I see Lokio. I see Tomes. I see Cyber Everything. I see Dale from Swimmy. And Vampire 54. Thank you guys for joining us.
I thought we were doing a podcast, not Romper Room.
That's it's like I'm going to get the little mirror, the little magic mirror.
See,
Romper,
you
stomper,
and
bumper,
I and
boo.
Stu are the only ones that are probably old enough to know Romper Room.
No, she remembers.
I just said
Do you?
romper, stomper,
Bumper,
bumper, boo.
Right.
I remember making the little stompers with the juice cans and the
I
strings.
remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Romper
Yeah.
stompers.
Yep. That's fascinating. Yeah, I'm going to have to rewire the whole studio. This is driving me crazy. Has it been like this for all the actual plays?
Don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't usually have headphones in for those.
I
Yeah.
do. I hadn't noticed it.
Should have headphones.
No, I started. Yeah.
Everyone should have headphones in.
No, he's talking about when he's listening to it.
No, he's running.
No, it's when I'm sitting there. I don't usually have them in.
Everyone should have
Okay.
headphones.
But
You're recording. You wanna-
Yeah, I
you
don't
wanna
think
know
it's
how
been
you're
as.
Romper Stomper is totally different than Romper Room,
It's true.
according to Clipper Rob. You know what? Stop correcting us.
What's a romper, stomper?
If you want to
bumper,
correct
boo?
us, get your junky ass down here and be on the show.
That's right.
All right.
We have an empty seat.
Right. You guys and your inside stories when I hear from last week. Oh.
Here, let me get you a
Inside
soapbox if you
stories.
want to. If you want to be all judgy and
Wait,
stuff.
wait, what?
no.
Inside stories.
No, it's all right.
What's inside story?
I'll
No. You opened this can of worms. Now I want to know.
yeah, apparently they're like telling stories that only you understood if you grew up with them. Anyway,
Oh,
those
gotcha.
kinds of things, right?
Oh,
You mean last
Schwabrins?
Friday?
Yes.
When the B team was here,
Oh,
they were very much an inside baseball
in the
night.
home for incorrigible.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was a
boys.
lot. I don't think it was a lot. It was just a few times, but I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
because they share a brain cell.
These guys are my friend. I like these guys. I'm not going to bag on them.
I like them too.
When I was in college, my car was called the Man with the Brain Mobile because we were looking for the man that had the brain.
That's a really long title for a car.
Because it was a shared brain. Or there was a brain, but you had to find the one guy that had the brain.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
So you guys were cruising
wonder
looking
if
for
that's
intelligent people?
Yeah.
Intelligent guys?
Yep.
You
Turn
never
these off
found
and
them.
see the
Never
difference.
found any of us, did you?
No, the yeah.
Yeah.
Is this better? Does this seem better at all? I can't really tell.
I'm hearing a hiss, but it's from the air conditioner. I
Oh
can
yeah,
tell.
yeah. Does it seem a little better?
Yes,
It's
it does.
less echoey.
Is it less echoey? Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit.
And the recording level,
What does the chat room think? Does everything sound fine?
I don't know. This is driving me crazy.
Shall we start with email?
Yeah,
I think we should have all block B.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, here we go. Oh, who played what this week?
Yeah.
We played masks
Oh yeah.
How'd that go?
swimmingly. It was our
No
best
spoilers, in case
our
people
best
haven't listened
session yet, in my opinion.
That's a bold statement. All right.
And I thought it was a really good session. I'm really pleased with where the game's going.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I don't know what it was for me. The session before, I think we were, I can't even remember what we were doing. But, oh, I know. But we kind of had some different set pieces, so it was fun, but it was, I don't know, this just flowed really
Did you guys do
well.
combat?
Uh-huh, a
Where's
little
combat?
bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
We did, but combat in Powered by the Apocalypse games is quick.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Do you want to hit him or not? Do you like how you hit him?
But we're
Did you hit
having-
him hard? Well, let's roll some dice. Oh, you hit him hard enough.
I think the
Something
last
like that?
couple sessions, though, we're definitely getting into the groove of our characters. That's been sort of enlightening on the Monday night games, is realizing that when you're playing, you're really only playing for an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and 40
Yeah.
minutes.
Right.
So you really don't, just when you're getting, like Dave, CA Dave likes to say, just when you're getting cooking, it's kind of time to call it.
Yeah.
So I think it takes a few more sessions to really start feeling the system and your characters.
And yeah, at 2 hours is
It's a hard
it's a different kind of experience.
Yeah.
right.
Especially when you're learning the system. I had that with L5R. It was
Yeah.
always, we'd come back and I'm like, okay, I don't even remember how to hit things anymore. It's been so long, right?
We
We'd
also
go
had
over
the
again.
ad hoc. Okay, when can we play next?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
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 So, all right.
Well, and it's our it was our penultimate Desert of Despair game.
Right.
So
We got one more.
one more. Sunday is the
The
don't
finale.
have two more?
finale.
No.
No, we were gonna have two more.
What
but,
happened?
Jason's
Jason's-
a new little baby
Oh,
Yeah.
the Jason family. Not
Really?
Jason's baby,
Wow. All
That
right.
nephew.
but yeah.
There is
Oh, okay.
no conflict.
Yeah.
All right.
So final game.
Performance anxiety question and a picture from Jim in Portland. I think that's the picture.
That's the picture.
That's the picture, I believe.
Oh yeah. Which can
they
they see
see
it from
that?
here? Can they see it from here? Because I can turn the camera.
The caricatures.
Yeah.
It's visible in the
It's just
picture.
yep. It's a tiny bit shaved off, but it's right beyond my finger.
That picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a new one.
Yeah, that's like the dudes that work at Disneyland that do the little.
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Or like you go to the county fair.
Right.
And-
yeah.
Yeah.
And predictably, the best one of them is Dave.
Yeah, Dave's
Yeah, they've
looks
got, like, the
Actually, I like yours.
phenomenal. Yeah.
I like yours because yours is the only one that isn't, and you've got that whole like mouth thing going on. Although mine, he really did sum up my hangdog look.
Is it just me, or does Proby's head look a little like a potato?
He does have
In
kind of a
that drawing.
Stewie look going on, doesn't he? He kind of does have a.
He looks like an old wooden top.
Yeah, that's not bad. I get that.
With eyeballs.
I say that because my son has gotten involved with this thing called Beyblades. Have you heard of these?
No.
It's he got involved with them before, and he swears he didn't. But I'm like, no, we bought these for you a few years ago.
That's like
and
circa 19 or 2000. Yeah, I forget how old.
I don't
am.
know. But
2010
he was like
maybe.
5 or 6, but
Yeah.
now he's 10, and they're playing it again. But they're smaller now. They're not when
Yeah,
he
they
did it,
were-
they were bigger ones.
Yeah.
Now they're little, and you can take them apart, and you can put on the different thing, this piece and this, and mix and match them.
It's totally tops from like the 1950s, but they repackaged them and sold them to kids in the 2000s.
and it comes and you buy an arena
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
fight.
Well, 'cause
Nothing new is really. You remember? Oh crap!
I don't remember us fighting with tops.
Black Mamba, where you do that overhead toss.
What was that game called?
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
No, but it was in that same vein of games, but where you had the little tops and you had the arena, and they had 4 of them, and you'd put the top in it and wind it up with a string, and then you pull it and they'd fight.
Oh, real? Okay, all right. I don't
think our-
remember that, but that's exactly what it is. It's
The
exactly
artist
what it is.
of our, because I like to think that's like a Brady Bunch
Yeah.
picture.
I was
So
thinking
Stu
of
is
Hollywood
in
Squares.
that
Brady
Alice
Bunch or
spot
Hollywood
or
Squares,
something.
because Stu is the center square.
Oh, yes. Hollywood
That's
Squares.
Charles Nelson Riley usually.
Paul
No,
Lynde.
Paul
Lynde.
Lynde, Center Square.
Was
same
it
voice.
you that had the best idea for a T-shirt ever?
Yes.
The Queens of Comedy.
Yeah, the original Queens of Comedy
Yep.
with like Charles Nelson Riley and Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde and- yeah.
yeah, Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor.
We
yeah.
should totally do Hollywood Squares, Happy Jack Squares at a convention sometime.
That'd be awesome. Our artist is in the chat room though.
Oh,
Chapo?
awesome.
Yep. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you
Said-
so much.
Said he made you look like a sad Buddy Christ.
I'm sad Buddy Christ.
He looks like a sad
I
buddy
do.
Christ.
It's pretty much
That's
it.
pretty awesome.
So if he's in the chat room, can I ask you? I know this is really interesting to the people listening on the podcast, but are you a professional caricaturist at parks and stuff? Because your style has that whole thing. We all looked at it and went,
Yeah.
wow.
Team Banana 71.
So anyway,
Yeah,
well,
so very
I will wait
curious.
for my answer off the air.
Yeah. Or it'll take a couple seconds.
We need a savior with a little panache.
Yeah. I don't know why they chose me then.
I love that movie.
How can you not?
Yeah.
Right. 4 years ago, a friend invited me to his D&D 3.5 campaign, and I jumped at the chance. As I'd never played before, despite owning the original red box edition, when it was the only red box edition. Oh, that long time
I think
ago.
it's. I mean, I am. On one hand, I think that's awesome that he was there, but he never played it.
And
That's sad.
That's from at the very latest, I would think early 80s.
It's late 70s because I
Well,
bought.
no, when it came out, but I mean, I'm assuming you could still buy it into the early 80s.
I got.
We're talking about the basic set.
No,
right?
I know. I bought it in. '80.
Okay, so it would have been available. And when did 3.5 come out? Probably mid 90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
So that means he spent a decade not playing that game.
Right.
And
He had it, didn't play it. That's just.
I shouldn't give him shit because
I'm
I
not-
have a lot of games.
Oh,
that
I
think
have
for
games
more
that I
fun.
haven't played, but I am both. That is awesome, and it also makes me a little sad.
Yes.
I'm not giving him shit. I just think it's a little sad.
So Jim, did you buy it at Future Dreams or did you buy it at End Games? That's what I want to know.
Oh, it's from Portland.
Yeah.
Okay. All The group was as welcoming as I could have hoped, and I kept all the advice I'd learned from listening to the Footwear Phobics podcast.
Fear the boot.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Fear the boot.
It was all Latin and stuff.
But listening to you and Fear the Boot podcast in mind while creating my character and participating in the story. We met once a month for about a year before people's work, school, family schedules became too cumbersome to work around. And the campaign has been put on indefinite hiatus. 2 months ago, my friend posted on Facebook that he's always up for a game, and I'm reasonably certain our GM would be willing to loan me the reins, if only to close the side quest we began. Problem the first. I am an introvert and shy, and I rarely speak in groups of 2 or more. One of the reasons why I joined this group was to overcome my shyness. And good on you for making the attempt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yet, I want to GM. Am I attempting to take too big a step? Problem the second. I'll read the whole thing and then we'll go back to the problem first and second. Problem the second. I want to GM, even if for one night, just as a thank you to the group for inviting me into their fold. They are amazing people who inspire me to be a better person, and while I'm sure to hit the GMing ground with considerable stumbling, I'm equally sure they'd help me back up. It's failing to show my gratitude that I love playing because of them that keeps me from taking the first step. Finally, and off topic, if the picture is truly worth 1,000 words, I hope my attempt at capturing you lot in caricature conveys every ounce of my appreciation for the content you provide. Roll on, Happy Jackers, roll on. Sincerely, Jim from Portland.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
There's a problem
Yeah.
first. Is he taking too big of a step? That's a question that I don't know if we can answer. If you're talking about dealing with your shyness, we're not qualified to answer that question.
Nope.
You're only a person that's qualified to answer that question.
I am not at all qualified to answer that question. What I would say is, one, go for it.
Yep. Try it.
Try it. You may find that that sitting in that particular position makes all your shyness go away. I'm not gonna. I can't
possible.
promise that.
Almost like when I get really seasick unless I'm driving the boat. When I'm
Right.
driving the boat,
Sure.
no sickness. If I'm driving a car, no motion sickness. If I'm a passenger in a car and we're going up a windy road,
That was exactly the example I was going to
Yeah.
use. I was waiting for a moment, but yes.
Now, you will stumble. You will make mistakes. Don't worry about it. You know what?
yeah.
It's a game. We're there to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And enjoy.
You could do a preemptive apology too, which is, it's my first time on my mistakes, make some
Exactly.
notes, and then you can tell me later. But don't stop me during the game. And that way, you know that you are forgiven, and they won't mess with you.
Yeah, I 100% do not think if you are thinking about doing this and it is something you'd like to do for yourself, and because you really like these people and you feel like this is a nice way to repay them for inviting you to play in their group and you really enjoyed that game, I absolutely think you should do it. I think go in it knowing that you're going to be a little nervous about stuff, but that these people like you, and that exactly what Stork said. If you just say, this is the first time I'm doing this, and so, I'll look for feedback after the game or that sort of thing. And I think sometimes, too, a good thing when you're nervous is to let people know, I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah, it's like, it's my first time, be gentle.
Yeah, exactly. I think so, too.
I think that you are on the right track because you're asking all the right questions. And Stu is right, we're not really qualified to speak to your shyness, but the fact that you know this about yourself, to know that you're asking these questions and you know that it might be an issue, says to me that you're ready. You've already identified what the problem is. It's just a matter of just doing it now. Mm-hmm. It's like you're up at the cliff. You know that there's a cliff, or well, maybe that's the wrong analogy.
Don't use a cliff analogy.
Let's not
That's a
use
little
cliff. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Keep your inner dialogues in check.
right.
Yeah.
And
And if you're shy enough to have sought help, probably know what that means.
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
One.
Team Banana answered Stork.
Yes?
Too. He said that it was a Brady Bunch framing that was the inspiration for the layout. And no, not a professional caricature artist yet, but he is aspiring to be. So he has a degree in art sculpture,
Very cool.
but pays the bills working at a dental lab to making teeth.
Cool.
You have all the skills to do this.
I know.
And
Cool.
even the
That's
coloring and
awesome.
all. It's great.
I want a tooth.
So
We'll give you some orc tusks.
Dude, he said he made a Darth Vader ring heavy enough to stop a truck.
A Darth Vader ring?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Because he makes the occasional trinket. So
What's
he
a
made
Darth
a ring.
Vader? Oh, a ring like
Yeah.
a finger. I thought like a
I
tooth
think
ring.
probably a
like
fake
on your
ring.
bicuspid, you put a ring
I'm
on
really
it.
obsessed with the teeth.
that's
really
that's
cool,
terrifying. By the way, that is terrifying.
I'm sure it's a thing.
though. A new fashion thing.
Probably. I can't speak for the other GMs in the room. Every time I sit down at the end of a table to run a game, I am nervous. And someone in the room can tell you that leading up to every game convention, I am a neurotic mess.
Yeah, I've witnessed that. I've seen that. It's not me you're talking
Right?
about.
No,
Yeah.
it's her, but no.
But yeah.
It's just because I stress myself out over it. But don't believe everything you think.
No, and you know what? You just brought this up. Okay, total GM confession time. And I said a little bit of this, I think, when I was on GM Hot Seat with Kimmy. I used to GM. I
Really?
used to GM weekly.
You used to do the GM or the D&D
encounters.
encounters, right?
And then I was like with a friend of mine, Megan, and we were like, we should run a game at the next con. Yeah, let's run a game at the next con. And we ran a couple con games. And then what happened to me is because I hadn't been playing very much. And so it's kind of that ignorance is bliss. So I was like, yeah, I can run a game. I'd been kind of doing the backseat GMing, like helping my really good friend Joe kind of behind the screen with the initiative and doing stuff like that, and starting to think, I think I could do this. I think I could run the game. I want to run a game because I have choices I would make that are different.
Right.
But the more I played, I started to play with more and more people, and I got intimidated because I thought that these people are so fantastic.
You psyched yourself out.
Yeah, so I'm actually GMing a game at con. What's that?
It's not.
No, I know,
GMing
but
is not as complicated.
no, I got total like math anxiety for GMing though,
No,
because
I
I was like, these people are so good. Like,
I get it. If we're going to do GM confessionals, this last game that Dave and I ran, I thought went poorly, and I behaved badly, and I felt awful about it, and I had scars from it. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God, I really need to make sure I get my shit together. Part of it's on being in this fishbowl. It's like,
Yep.
I'm held to a higher standard than most people, and I felt like I completely didn't hit
But
that standard
you're
at that
not.
point.
and
But
you
you're
can get
not.
in your head a little
Yeah, I
bit
did.
too much.
I totally did.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I think you're making 100% the right decision, and don't listen to those voices that are maybe telling you, because if you're feeling like this,
Or argue with them.
yeah,
Tell them
totally
to
argue
shut
with
up.
them. Tell them to shut up.
Tell them to cough.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
'Cause I
no,
think that's awesome.
and I would say, I don't think it is incorrect or wrong-headed to come to the realization that the first time you GM, you're going to make some mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, you're going to.
If you don't, you're the first one.
Right?
You know what? I am running a campaign. I have been running games for decades.
Right.
I am running a game right now. And if you want the proof in the pudding, go look at the forums and look at the feedback I got from the first couple of sessions.
Right.
It's all great. It's wonderful, amazing feedback. But they're like, yeah, this and this and this and this.
That's that fishbowl I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it's great feedback and it was very helpful.
Yes.
But it's I've been doing this for a long time. I make mistakes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone does. And I mean, there are times when, like, something happens and I'm like, okay, well, we're just a moment. I'm going to introduce this plot element or whatever. And then I look back at it and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that because
I've derailed my own plot line.
either that or now the party really doesn't know what to do.
Right.
That I do that all the time anyway.
Yeah, we never know what to do.
I do that so you guys start arguing with each other, so I don't have to work as much.
Yeah.
See, right there, Jim, there's what you do. Is you make
wind
sure your
them up.
party talks to they never get out of the inn. They're so busy fighting with each other what they're going to order that 3 hours go
Well, and
by.
listen, Stu said something a couple episodes ago, and this is kind of one of the things that just really resonated with me, and I'm sure you thought I was being, I don't know, facetious or something, but I was like, somebody needs to timestamp that, because that was amazing, because you said, if you step off a cliff and you fall, big deal, because it's not a real cliff, it's a role-playing game.
Right.
And just get back up and do it, because
Right.
it's a role-playing game.
It's a game.
Yeah.
Game.
Nobody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Emphasis on the word game.
And these are people that like you.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think that's awesome.
I think it'll go well.
We got cheered by, how do I pronounce that? Region?
Yeah.
Region?
Yeah, Rigion.
I'll keep coming up. Rigion? Rig-ion?
All right.
maybe?
Yeah,
Why did you cheer us?
Finally.
He gave us 1,000
Yeah.
little thingies. Now, Kimmy's the one that does all this stuff,
Yeah, it
not
says-
me. So I don't really know what this means.
It
But Kimmy could
says,
tell us.
finally get to watch the show live. You can open the carrot. Finally get to watch the show live again. Have some beers on me.
All right. We've done
Sweet.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And so problem the second, you
And
want a
Rigion
GM.
said any of them are fine. Of your
I want to
pronunciations.
GM, even if for one night, as a thank you to the group for inviting me into the fold. They are amazing people, et cetera, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
We read all that. I was
If
just
failing
summing
to
up-
show my gratitude, it's failing that I love playing with these people that keeps me from taking the first step. So what he's saying is, I want to do this as a nice thing, but he's worried that it's going to backfire because he's not going to do that well. And
He doesn't want to suck.
Right. It's
see, if you have the self-awareness
Yep.
to stop and say, well, no, I really don't want to be a shitty GM. I don't want to do all of the stupid things that, like we talk about people doing.
right.
You are so far ahead of the game to
Yep.
like the
Oh my
average
God, yes.
teenager who opened up the
The DM's guide and probably didn't read it.
Or Reddit.
Hi.
Hi.
Reddit but didn't understand
That'd
it.
be me.
Right. I ran D&D without ever reading the player's handbook. I just took it from memory from the one game I played.
I read it in bits and pieces here and there.
Right.
But yeah.
But yeah, you're so far ahead. I mean, that's something I don't think I would worry about.
Yeah, and you even say your players are friends. If you preface it ahead of time saying this is a thank you for you guys, I'm probably not going to do everything right. Save your criticism for later on, and let's all have fun.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. If you just say I want to have fun, if you guys are having fun, let's do this together. Because you're in this together. It's a collaborative thing, and I think that, as I said earlier, you have already nailed your problems. You were already way ahead of the game. So
Yeah.
you just confirmed that.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna open the lid on the box. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh no,
Oh, for sure.
It
I've never run a perfect.
I've never.
game. I don't
I've
even
yet
know
to
what a
run
perfect game would be
I
like.
don't know what it would look like. But when we worry about our games being perfect, we put stress on ourselves. It's
God, it's so easy to say, though, isn't
it's
it?
so
No,
easy.
it is.
But
It is.
come Saturday morning at the con, I'll be
Especially
Sweating
for
bullets.
people that are shy
Right.
and have
get
never
it.
done it before. But I think you're saying it already right there. You're saying they're amazing people who inspire you to be better and to
Yeah.
be a better person. And
That does not sound like you're gonna be.
Yeah.
You're sitting around with people who are
Yeah.
going to be like
Yeah.
hypercritical.
yeah, and
of
you're
everything
even
you
saying
do.
you're equally sure they'd back you up.
that does
So-
not sound like a recipe for suck
And
in any way.
I'm actually
to me.
going to go out on a limb, and it's a bit of reinforcing the stereotype. But back in the day, a lot of us geeks and nerds were pretty shy people because nobody understood us. We were afraid of being judged because we were judged
beat
all
up
the
a lot,
time,
too.
and we ended up finding people that we could trust, and then we'd open up to them. So it's not that uncommon that these games were run by shy people,
Yeah.
and they all lived.
Yep.
Most of us.
Most of us, yeah.
There's the the Mazes and Monsters guy.
Oh yeah.
I think you
And-
should
and-
totally do
and
it.
Blackleaf.
I would
And
love.
Blackleaf.
Or Blackleaf.
I would love to hear how that goes. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yep.
I
I
would too.
I want to hear how it goes.
Yes, Jim. Thank you so much, and
Yeah.
thank you for the art. And let us know
Yes.
how it goes. Give us an update,
Please.
good or bad.
Totally.
Yeah.
GM ADHD or tips for focusing from Taylor on from Newfoundland. Now I actually coined GM ADHD because I sometimes have it. Not all the time.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
You should trademark that.
Hey, Stu and the crew. Any advice for an unfocused GM? What was that? Shiny, sparkly?
What?
What was that? Hey, who said that? What was it? Wait, well, let me check my phone. Not long ago, I spent hours and hours of prep to run a vampire game. Which, you know what, though?
Yeah.
I kind of get that, because vampire games can be complicated.
Oh, you want a lot of NPCs. You want to know a lot about them.
Oh, I need a
yeah.
map. I need to figure out what town I'm in. I need to figure out a city. I need to figure out who the mayor is. Yeah, I kind of get that. Vampire games, you have to pay it forward. I carefully set up the world, created a slew of NPCs, including their motivations and allegiances and deeper info. I ran 2 sessions and lost interest. My players wanted to keep going, but I just didn't care to continue. Before that, I ran a game of a homebrew setting of GURPS again. I spent a ridiculous amount of time creating the world and NPCs and countries and going so far as to create a custom magic system. We played one session and never went back. For some reason, I can't bring myself to keep running campaigns. I consider switching to running exclusively one-shots, which I have run successfully before, but I find myself drawn to campaign ideas. Do you have any tips to help me focus? I want to stick with my games. Thanks. I love you guys. Bye.
You're thinking the same thing I am, aren't you?
P.S. Hi.
Probably.
From Newfoundland.
Yeah. I'm curious.
You have inadvertently found the part of the game that geeks you out.
Yeah.
And it's not running games.
Right.
It's writing them.
Yep.
It's world creation.
It's,
Yeah, well,
it's creating the world, creating the game, setting it up, and then you're good.
I
You're
call
happy
that
with it.
lonely fun.
Yep, and that's a lot of fun. That's one of
It
the
is.
things
a lot of
I
fun.
enjoy.
I
love
enjoy
it. I
Yeah.
love it.
What I have done so that I can continue to maintain interest in it is I don't do as much prep.
Me too.
I'm like, okay, here's this little area. I'm going to start here. I'm going to prep the crap out of this. I'm going to know who the NPCs are. And all the rest of it, I'm going to name this forest or I'm going to name this desert. And that's it. That's it. When they get to that place, now I have something else I get to prep. Right?
Yeah.
You string yourself along.
Right. And that lets it, me, because I do the same thing, keep the game fresh for me.
Exactly.
Too.
And you have to. You have to do that.
Because if I sit down and I spend all this time building out all of this stuff, building out the world and all these people and everything, I've put enough time in it that I'm ready to move on to something else.
Yeah. That's the creative effort of GMing that you enjoy.
Right.
That's why I like coming up with one-shots. I don't really like running them because the starting game, starting session for me, I don't think that's my strong suit. My strong suit is the mid-game.
Yeah, I probably put myself in the same boat.
I'm not good at the closing game. I'm not good at the opening game, but I'm good at the mid-game. Like when you get to the point, it's like there's a pattern to it. You know, the players have plans, and then I get to be in a more reactive position. It's much easier for me. And then
Timestamp that because that's actually really smart.
Yeah, but I that because of the fact that I try not to prep everything, then also it's work for me. It's like, they're going to go there. Well, I haven't prepped that yet. Okay, well I know what to do next week. So in the next, in the intervening days before the next session,
right,
I can start doing that fun thing where I come up with NPCs and businesses and all that fun stuff.
I come up with the things and the stuff, but what that really does for me is I get those moments in the game when they go, I'm going there. I'm like, I have no idea what's there. Let's find out.
Right.
Yeah, nothing's going to cure you of over prepping. Like
Yeah.
you create the entire city with mapped out every inn and every place, and they go, nah, we're going to go out in the forest. And you're like,
I don't have a forest.
Damn you.
God damn you. And that happens.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
All
you,
the time.
you prep a tower, you prep an inn, you prep a situation, and all of a sudden your characters go left when you thought they were going to go right. And it will cure you eventually from over prepping. You're like, you know what? I'm tired of prepping all this shit for you bastards. You guys always fuck with me. You guys get what you deserve, and then your game gets elevated. It happens to Stu. It happened to Jib.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet because I still over prep. So.
I was going to make the same suggestion that you guys both made, which is try to hold back and prep as you go. But also, if you do one-shots and you don't want to come up with a bunch of world just to run a one-shot, maybe look into some Powered by games, because there are some decent Powered by the Apocalypse games where you could do a bunch of world creation as a group so that you don't have to front load all the time, but you get to contribute. And you kind of help facilitate and bring all the minds at the table together to create that world or that relationship map or...
Right.
Dresden Files kind of does that too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Dresden Files does that.
Iron Edo was awesome.
But Power by the Apocalypse, everything I've learned about it is actually a takeaway from if you're not even playing Power, which is if you're stuck, ask your players.
Yeah.
All right, so you come into a forest. What does this forest look like? Is it an arboreal forest? Is it dark? Is it deep? And watch your play. And now your players are doing the work for you. Stu does it anyway. He just doesn't know he's doing a Power by the Apocalypse question. You ask leading questions. What's the name of this forest?
Yeah.
Do you know? You might know some lore about this forest because you're from the area, right? And you go look through your character sheet. Now that's a Power by the Apocalypse mechanic, but it doesn't mean it's restricted only to Power by the
heck no.
Apocalypse.
Absolutely.
You can use that in D&D. If they've gone completely off the rails. You can say to them, okay, so you come to a forest. You're local. What's the name of this forest? Name it for me while you're busy racking your brain about what you're going to do.
My point was just that if you... obviously, he really digs all that time spending creating worlds. So this is more a little little more collaborative, and then you don't put as much in on the front.
No, I know what you're saying,
yeah.
but in many ways, by giving their players the
Yep.
chance to invest
Yeah.
in this world, it takes the work off you, and they're coming
Yep.
up with great ideas, and you can be busy taking notes after that. And now they're creating a world in front of you that
And-
you
Yep.
can now own.
There's a side effect in that too, and you just alluded to it, and that is because they have invested in this world, it's theirs.
That's what the Powered by Apocalypse really shines at, is trying to make everybody inclusive in this collaborative
Right.
storytelling.
Well, that's like when I don't. Right now, I'm wondering what I'm going to run next. Whether if the next thing I'm going to run is going to be
Yeah.
the GURPS,
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn.
or Blood, Blade, and Tusk, which is the Moment of Truth fantasy.
Moment of Truth, both, yeah.
But if I do the Red Dawn thing, it's going to be, when we make the characters, it's going to be, okay, where is your town?
Right.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? What's the name of your high
Yeah.
school? What's the name of your mascot? Or what sports team do you all belong to? That kind of thing. So let the players come up with all of that stuff, because the first session, the character gen session, I'm not going to have anything.
Jim, are you
planned.
listening? Are you listening? This is how you what is it? Job it out. That's what I'm looking for. Come on, people who work in offices.
Outsource it.
Outsource it. Thank you. You outsource it, Jim. That takes the pressure off of you, and they've made the choice. Now, all of a sudden, if they don't like the forest, well, it's their own fault. They named it.
Lokio Stork.
Yes.
That's fine to do. Asking your players is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have an answer, you have to have one. Otherwise,
Yes.
you're just running a game with no content.
Yes, that's true. I'm not saying that you just stand around looking awkwardly at everybody until somebody comes up with an answer.
But
I'm more than
we're
willing to
geeks.
help.
We're
but
good at awkward.
I know.
Sovereign Citizen
I
game.
called crap on that. That's just you wanting to type something because you haven't said anything all day.
No, they've been talking a lot in
Okay,
here.
good. No, I get that. I like to outsource and I like to stall, and having your players come up with some of the stuff, naming the NPCs. Like, that's one of the reasons I love to have, when somebody fails, to have them tell me what they did wrong.
Yeah.
They own it.
always
it's
better.
always more interesting. And now you're not the bad guy. I mean, we've talked about this 100 times, but helping them, like having, if they decided to leave the town that you spent weeks designing and they're going into the forest, well, you know what? They can name it. They can tell me what it looks like. They can tell me some lore about it, because I'm stuck. And if
Yeah.
they don't tell me what the name is, it's going to be, well, this is the dark forest of tall trees. It's the blue field of green grass. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. And they're like, that's a terrible name. Well, then you come up with a better one, because you bastards didn't go to my town.
Oh, you like good names? You should turn left.
I spent 6 weeks on the names went on the
That's
left
not
road.
true. That's not what I will do. But yeah, I will come up with stuff if it comes to it.
Dave from Southwest Michigan. What game system is the Red Dawn game going to be in? It's going to be in GURP.
Yeah! Isn't there a soundboard for that?
No.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, you did that.
Yeah, it's going to be in
Yeah.
GURPS, because GURPS has all
Sniper
of the,
rifles.
all of the weapons that I will need.
Actually, a thing came up today on Facebook, and because Mook is either doing or has done or is an example of a fight in GURPS, and one of our listeners specifically asked me to do the same
Okay.
fight in Savage
We
Worlds.
could talk about this.
Not as a SmackDown, but as to highlight the things the two systems
This is
do well.
DT Pints has been set up between Mook and Jib to run the same
rumble?
fight. A rumble. To run the same fight, the same situation with the same NPCs. Yeah, to do the GURPS and Savage Worlds, so that we
Only part I
can
know.
compare the two, and it's genius. And I applaud that DT Pints.
You know what? That's a fantastic idea to do for
great idea.
every game system.
Like-
To start out with the same fight and show how each different system
Right.
resolves that combat. That's a
Right, to show-
because I
Which
know
is
I know
genius.
that he has those for GURPS, and he also does he have them for something else too, L5R or something.
He might have done some for Fade or Fudge.
I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't his site that I saw it on.
Yeah.
But he's had a step-by-step GURPS combat
GURPS
on there
stuff.
for some time.
Yeah.
And I thought he had another system where he had
Talk
one
about
as
DT
well.
Pints or Mook?
Mook.
Oh yeah. Well, but here's the cool thing. Now Mook is going to be Skyping. Everybody gets to bask in the awesomeness that is Mook running a GURPS game, and then I don't know, whoever gets the dice flip, it might actually be you first. Jason's going to run the same scenario on Savage Worlds. I'm actually looking forward to that. I might tune into that because that sounds
Is it
really
going to be during
cool.
JackerCon? or when you guys?
I'm not sure when we're going to do it.
Just post it in
Soon
Happy
though.
Jacks.
Probably right. I'm going to
Facebook.
guess and
Yeah.
say probably not long after GameX.
It's in the forums, so
right.
I'm actually looking forward to that. That's
So
a really
within
cool
the next
idea.
month, anyway.
And because both games are simulations, well, GURPS, of course, being the extreme of it, and Savage Worlds also, it'll be really interesting to see. And I think you guys are doing Fury Road.
We're doing the chase scene in Fury Road
Right.
where they're stuck in the swamp.
Right.
They're stuck in the mud and they're trying to get out, and they've got people coming after them.
The Bullet Farmers.
The bullet farmers are coming after them.
Yeah. So it's going to be the exact same situation.
That's awesome.
So it's sort of like you've got the control test, which is the movie. Right,
Right.
and we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes with the simulationist game. We'll see how it
yeah.
goes with the pulpy game. So it's really cool.
Interestingly enough, because he specifically mentioned a sniper rifle. And a sniper rifle is stupid deadly in Savage Worlds.
Right.
It's
You will
stupid deadly in
get
GURPS.
really dead right now.
Right. You should.
You should.
Yeah.
You absolutely should.
Any game that where someone survives a sniper rifle attack, especially a successful hit with one.
Agreed.
Again, I default to falling down the stairs. It's funnier and it's just as elegant. You know, falling down the stairs in Savage Worlds, if your dice explodes, you're dead. GURPS, you're probably dead. D&D, you don't fall down the stairs.
In a sniper rifle in GURPS, you're
No,
dead.
I'm talking about falling down the stairs. That's my measurement for how deadly a game is.
It depends.
It would depend. But, you're in Savage Worlds, you're still taking, a D6 plus 1 of falling damage for every flight of stairs.
I know.
So,
It's not like D&D where if you're at least 7th or 8th level, you can fall as far as
Oh
you
no,
want.
nobody falls downstairs in D&D.
you actually don't land when you fall downstairs in D&D. You just kind of
You bounce
reach
on
the
your-
bottom and you hover.
You bounce on your hit points.
Well, you have feather fall. Your feather fall is one of your dailies.
You bounce on your hit points.
Because hit points aren't really damaged. They're something else. Sorry.
That's funny.
All right.
That's the one thing that drove me crazy. That's one of
the
those.
one thing?
Yes.
That's
The
it.
rest. I had fun. I had fun running the D&D game until we got to the spot where Kimmy's character falls off of the scaffolding, and okay, well, let me look up the falling rules. Oh, I'm sorry, you're above 5th level, so there's really no way for you to actually really get seriously hurt.
We got called out on the forums.
Right.
Because we have a tendency to bag on D&D a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's because I don't like it.
And you know what?
Fair play.
Fair play. But a friend of the person who posted on our forum commented that they don't like the show because of our tendency to bag on D&D and on organized play.
Right. Well, I don't know if we've bagged on organized play. We have read a bunch of emails from people who have bagged on organized play. To my knowledge, and I think this is an important distinction, the only real critique of organized play that came from someone within the group was when Bill played in a Pathfinder Society game. And Bill's comments, he had some criticism,
Right.
which I thought were fair, but he also said overall he had a good time.
Right. And that mirrors my experience with Pathfinder Society play. Because I played Pathfinder Society some before I moved here.
Right.
And I don't hate organized play. It's just not my go-to. But other people dig it. Rock on.
Sure.
Rock on. And I'm playing 2 D&D 5e campaigns right now.
Right.
There are things about the system that are somewhat frustrating to me. But that's pretty much true of every game system. There's usually something about it that I kind of go, that thing.
I like D&D.
I
do too.
I don't have that. I don't have that experience with most systems.
And I like
that
5e
same
a
kind
lot.
of frustration.
It's not like a breaking kind of frustration or anything. It's kind of like I look at this one thing and I go, huh.
For you, it's when it gets logy. It's when it just starts to feel like it's encumbered.
When you get into high levels and combat start taking
Yeah.
too long.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
To the point where, okay, we're playing a 3-hour session. I'm afraid to start a combat because I don't think I can finish it in 3 hours we have.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
I think that's a legitimate bitch.
Yeah.
And the thing is, yeah, if you want to play other games, go ahead and play other games. I don't care what you play. I don't care what you like. You shouldn't care what I like. It really doesn't matter. If you're enjoying yourself, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's for every podcast that doesn't talk about D&D, there's probably 40 that do.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
that's
So
absolutely
some
a fair
exclusively.
Yeah, I mean most of them are I mean, there's a lot of exclusively D&D podcasts.
Yeah.
And they have a huge market share, and I mean, quite frankly, that's why I ran D&D, and it bumped our numbers up.
Yeah.
And I knew it would. I don't like it.
Yeah, and that's absolutely
like
fair
it.
play. Something that occurred to me this week, I thought about. I can't think of a podcast that covers the breadth of gaming systems that we do.
I think there's some that could have had they.
RPPR.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy that.
And if they had
Yeah.
the frequency and length of time,
That's fair.
I think
Yeah.
narrative control.
Fear the Boot.
Oh, yeah.
If narrative
they
control
talk
was a
about- yeah.
weekly podcast, and it came
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Do
fair.
you mean
it totally could do this. way
discuss,
better
or do you
than-
mean APs?
I mean, discuss.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, there's a fair number of those out there. I listen to them.
I will yield
Yeah,
to your
narrative
expertise.
control is awesome. Stuff like the Jankcast. So,
I bag on
Is
D&D.
Jancast still being made?
yeah, there were APs
Oh, okay.
recently.
Because Jancast has been around a long ass time.
The one that I used to listen to that went away, well, App was awesome. I loved App.
Actual people,
Actual
play.
people,
That
actual
was Will's,
play.
right?
That was
Yeah.
Will's, and some other folks I know. That one was awesome. They talked about everything, but it's been, gone for a while. But The Walking Eye has been gone for a little while too. That was
I
awesome.
remember them. Yeah, that's kind of. There's a lot of new
Yeah,
ones. If you
Swear.
look at new and noteworthy under other games on iTunes, you'll see. I mean, God, there's 4 or 5 every week.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
Most
sure.
of them pod fade within 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, May 5th. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Jankcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lokio says Jankcast just started a mask scheme.
Yep. Yeah, that's the new hotness on podcast APs. I can tell.
Masks
There's
is a new
bunch of-
hotness.
Yeah.
bunch
this year.
of masks.
And
APs
it's
out there.
a lovely game.
Yeah.
How long
has it been around?
It came out last year. It was-
Masks?
The book just came out,
Just
but
came out.
it got kickstarted a while ago.
Yeah.
So that's the thing when you kind of travel with people who play stuff when there's not even a book. By the time the book comes out,
Yeah.
it's like we've totally moved on to other stuff.
You play tested it.
Yeah, we played Blade's campaign for a year, and now we're finally going to get a book, but we've been done with
done.
that campaign for
You're
like
like,
4
I'm
months.
done with this game, yeah.
Yeah. Now we're on to Coriolis.
Sovereign Citizen Kane says there are some out there, but audio quality can be a turnoff. Happy
True.
Jacks is the best, and that's with our
Oh,
crappy
yeah.
audio quality
Yeah.
today.
and that's always been a plus for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has been our audio quality.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
ain't saying we're not the
serendipitous because I
best.
happen to have a recording studio.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a product of you having a recording studio
Well,
and
that
being
you care about it.
and caring about audio.
Right.
Yeah. So
It's important.
it matters. All right.
Yeah.
Next up,
Recommendations for a new group from Drail88.
Cool.
you want to do this one? Or do you want
Excuse
to do
me.
the horse?
I just
did
did
the
it.
other
He did
one.
one.
He just did one.
He already
for
did.
me.
You do the dead bird. Do the dead
Go.
bird. Come on, mime is money. Get that?
money.
No?
Read.
No?
Okay.
Really?
Greetings, Dr. Stuchenstein and his laughing jackanapes.
This is Spinal Tap reference,
We're
and no one got it.
jacking
I-
No one but
Wait,
me.
what'd you
got
say?
it.
I didn't. I was trying to make him read.
Mime is money. Billy Crystal. And Dana Carvey.
Mime is money?
Yeah. Do the dead bird. Do the dead bird. Come on, move it. Mime is money. Remember? Yes, they had the mimes who were the waiters at a reception,
Yeah.
and
That I
they
remember.
hold the platter of food. and They're like,
That was Billy Crystal and Dana
Yeah.
Carvey?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm not positive it's
I even
Dana
did.
Carvey because he's wearing mime makeup, but I think it's Dana Carvey. I know
pretty
it's Billy
sure. I'm
Crystal.
pretty sure you're right.
No, I think you're right.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Isaac from Texas coming to you for your infinite wisdom. Considering how long I may take for this to be read, I shall TLDR the first section now. I am wanting to start a role-playing campaign for my sisters and their friends. It should be a total party of 4, and I'm looking for a simple-to-follow, easy-to-explain system. Thanks in advance. Actual email portion. I have recently discovered that my sisters and several of their friends may be interested in playing tabletop role-playing games, and me, being ever eager to tell a story that I am, have offered to run said game. However, I am now at a loss as to what I should do. The group is my 2 sisters, ages 24 and 19, and 2 of their friends, also 19. While none of them have played anything really higher than Catan and Munchkin, they are always in character, having a good time and enjoying ad-libbing off each other's antics. To this end, I really think that they would enjoy an ongoing story with actual characters that they could develop. There is way too much to read and explain in Dungeons & Dragons 5, and I feel like they aren't prepared for something as in-depth as that. I've thought of the Munchkin D20 tabletop, but I haven't heard you guys play that system, so I don't know how well it works. I would love to hear some of your recommendations for a group of tabletop newbies. Many thanks, Isaac from Texas, Trail88 on the forums. P.S. Also, any story ideas on what I could do for a group of 4 girls who are new to the hobby. I want them to get a good hook for the story.
Ask them what kind of stories they're interested in first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ask them what kind of stories they're interested in first.
Because it really does. It really depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what my first default was? Vampire.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Vampire's an easy system to learn.
Yes, it really is. It really is.
It's the same mechanic
and
for
because
pretty
you
much
all have to
everything.
create your characters together. You as the GM will be there as they're creating it. You can help them out. There's that quick start rules that you found and downloaded and gave us, right? Which makes it really simple. You go step by step, and after an hour and a half, you have this really cool character. They're going to be really invested.
If they're interested in vampires.
If they're interested in vampire.
Yeah.
What I would do
What
is
19-year-old girl isn't?
what I would do is ask them what kind of stories they're interested in. Then go to Google, type Savage Worlds, and then the thing that they told you.
And my thing would be go to Google and type in "Powered by the Apocalypse" and the thing you're interested in. Because honestly, I think that's even like if you really wanted a fantasy campaign, Dungeon World would be a really easy,
You're right there.
great sort of entry.
You know what? That's a lot of reading for the GM. Because I own Dungeon World, and that's almost a 300 fucking page book.
It is, and
And it is not presented very well.
We're also talking a campaign.
Well, to you.
Well, if I looking at it
Yeah.
because I want to at some point run
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, can you just fucking tell me how the rules work first?
You got so mad you threw your
Can you just tell me how the rules work first? And like, can we start there, please? I don't want fucking background. Apocalypse World drove me insane. The writing style.
I knew that
Vincent
when
Baker?
you, yeah. And there are a lot of people that honestly have that
Have-
feedback.
I found the version of I'm sorry. Good.
No, it's fine.
found the
I
version-
love it. You're on a diatribe. Go, man. Go.
I found
Yeah.
the version of Powered by the Apocalypse I like, and it's like called Tiny Apocalypse or something like that. And it's like an 8-page PDF that is a bare bones Powered by the Apocalypse construction set.
Nice.
And it basically
called-
tells
it's
it's a
called Tiny
step-by-step thing that tells you how to make an apocalypse-based game. And I read through that, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I kind of understand how the rules work. Why couldn't any of
Okay.
these fucking assholes put this in their book? It's like 8 pages long, and that's all it takes to say, okay, here's the system. That's why when Stork said Vampire's organized that way. The book is organized to learn.
I
Chronicles of Darkness. Organized to learn. Want the mechanics? There's 2 pages.
two things. Make your paper white. And stop
Okay,
using the
yes.
fucking font that you use. I hate it.
Now, did they do
Yeah.
that? Did they do
Yeah.
that? I
enough.
don't think they did it in Chronicles. I think they learned.
Yeah,
Requiem
I
is
think
really
you're-
bad.
And you're right.
All
I
of
think
the-
Chronicles is better.
All of the
Yeah.
setting books for New World Chronicles of Darkness are terrible.
well, you know,
They're unreadable.
And to be fair, L5R was worse. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think-
don't understand.
There
I
was
think-
like white,
Yeah.
I
red
think-
type on a black background at
Yeah.
one point, and I'm like,
I
didn't even
disagree.
read
I
it.
think 4th edition L5R is a very readable book. I don't know what previous versions were like, but I never had a problem with the 4th edition book.
I can't read this name.
But
'cause
like
it's in light green.
Mage, what is it? Mage the Ascension? Is that the New World
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
It's like gold ink on white paper.
Good.
Thanks,
This is
guys.
awesome.
If there's any glare at all, it's a blank piece of paper. It's
Thanks,
fantastic.
Because you have to be a mage to read it.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I think it's Sovereign Citizen Kane suggests Demon the Fallen.
Yeah, gold on white. Yeah.
Yeah. But similar to Vampire, harder to die, and said more interesting in my opinion.
Which?
So.
Demon.
Demon the Fallen.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, all of these are good suggestions. All of these are good answers for what you're looking for. But the common thread between them is ask them what they're interested in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And once you know what they're interested in, then find the thing that does that the way you want to do it. Whether
Right.
it's Powered by the Apocalypse, which we love. Savage Worlds, which we love. Vampire, which we love.
If they say, and if they say we want to play D&D, you can get the scaled down version of 5th edition. I think it's still free, isn't it?
I think so.
They have a
too.
name for it. It's a PDF.
What
It's
the
like
heck is it
30 or
called?
40 pages long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. I think you can download it on the site.
I think you can get it on the WotC site. I think.
I think it's still available. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a short condensed version.
Right.
It gives you basic character creation.
Actually, it doesn't give you.
Oh, that's right. You don't
it
get
has characters.
pre-gens. That's right.
Yeah.
It has
Pre-gens.
characters.
You don't even need to play the current version. I mean, there's lots of like AD&D ripoffs out there. There's, I think there was it the Lighthouse or something. There's Tim talks about
Swords and Wizardry.
Swords and Wizardry, the OSR thing.
You could also just go find a
Lamentations
3rd
of
edition.
Flamebridge.
They still run just fine. The reason
Yeah.
people don't play them anymore is that they're just not supported.
Yeah.
So there's no new stuff coming out. But that doesn't mean they're not viable games.
Still have them.
Right. You could play
Still
AD&D.
No,
Still plays.
The reason I was suggesting that was because it's a small rule book. It's
Oh, yeah.
condensed.
Yeah.
Lokio says D&D has a free edition.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And
Because
then
I own it. I have it. I printed it out
Gita
and put it in
said
a folder.
Powerpuff Girls and PBTA.
Well, and that's the thing. If you ask
Awesome.
if you ask them, and they're like, "Well, we don't know. We want to play, hobbits and stuff," but they may not actually know what they want. So Stu used to have a thing that he used to give his players, which was asking them questions, and part of that might be asking them what they want to play. Do you want to be
Oh, for
superheroes?
sure.
Do you want at modern times? And they may not even know that it's possible to play a game in modern times.
Yeah. Because a
So-
lot of people think role-playing games, and it's like...
Right.
it's-
You crawl
it's
around through dungeons and
fantasy.
you
Yep.
Right.
You might-
And that
disarm
might be
traps.
what they want.
You might find
Yeah.
out that they want to play Call of Cthulhu, which is also a great game, and it'll blow their mind. But it's a
Yeah.
little disheartening because they're like, "Well, I want to live at the end." Well, nope.
Not in Call of Cthulhu, you
No,
didn't.
but you might be surprised. So I think Stu's onto it,
Yeah.
which is ask
Yeah.
them, take up a quick poll, and they're gonna be general. They're gonna be like, well, we want to have fun, and
You can frame it as movies too.
that's true.
If you ask them and they go, I don't know, pick a movie you like.
Right.
And then when they go, Lord of the Rings, really liked Lord of the Rings. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're on that. Or if they say Guardians of the Galaxy or the Avengers or whatever they come up with. If you go to Google and type in a game system
Guardians
Yeah.
of the Galaxy, Savage Worlds.
and the
Yeah.
thing that they give you, you're going to find source material.
It's true.
Pretty much.
You are going to find stuff.
Yeah, and Tom's brought up a good point in the chat room too. In that, and I know Drell 88 has written in before.
Yeah.
But I don't. If you are
Lots,
like a trad gamer, and you've played a lot of D&D and traditional games, like it might not be easy to just jump into a PBTA game.
To
So
run
very
for the
true.
first
Savage
time
might
for
be.
newbies.
Yep,
Yeah.
very true.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
again,
That's the other thing. I mean, if you're pick what you're
Yeah.
familiar
that's
with.
what
Yeah.
I was going to
Respin
say.
that shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
really good
In-
point.
In many ways, sometimes having them pick the system that you want may not be what you want. You might actually just like, this is the game system I want to play in, but give me a genre. Right?
What's The Notebook? Is that a movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone said The Notebook RPG.
Rom-com.
Oh my God,
It's a
gross.
rom-com.
Sorry, that's where I'm not a girl. That's like maybe all girls like vampires, but I did not grow up like. Yeah, The Notebook. I
The
don't
only
get it.
romantic comedy I saw,
And
which
horses.
that I enjoyed, but it also disturbed the shit out of me, is the one that was just recently in the theaters, but it's now on Amazon. There's a generation ship going to another star, and there's
Passenger.
the Passengers.
Oh.
That's
That's
a rom-com?
yes, it is.
No, it's
It's a
Yes,
rape-
it is.
Okay.
there's wrongfulness in there.
Oh, there's horrible
There's
wrongfulness
right?
in there.
in there.
I can't. I was like, I love Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's adorable, and I wanted to see it until I read about the premise, and then I'm like, that's gross.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I won't spoil
Yeah.
it, but it's like, wow, that's really fucked up. What a horrible, horrible thing to do.
Agreed.
Right.
That's why I'm like, I don't think I can buy into this as a love story.
Doesn't make it a rom-com.
It's like-
right? It's not like
No, it's
four
a-
weddings and a funeral.
No, it's okay.
Stalking.
It's a rom-drom.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
not a rom-com. It's
Okay.
a rom-drom.
Yeah.
Fair cop.
Yeah.
And it's got
Exactly.
Lawrence Fishburne in it, who's like, "You did what?" he's like the conscience of everyone.
now. Yeah, it's his thing now. When
What's in your wallet?
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh my God,
That's
Kingsman
Samuel
is coming
Jackson.
out
Samuel
this year
Jackson.
finally. Kingsman 2.
That's gonna suck.
I
It's gonna
know, but
suck.
I'm-
That's gonna be so shitty.
I loved that movie
Wow.
so much.
I love the first
Wow.
movie. It's
Me
gonna
too.
suck.
I love the first movie so much. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
much.
Because
And
nobody had any expectations and
Yeah.
didn't know what
I
to
am
expect.
so
Yeah.
afraid of
gonna be
that it's
awful.
going to be awful.
It is.
It's
It's
I
totally-
want it to be amazing, and I'm so afraid it's going to be awful.
Are you having a piss?
Nothing can be worse than Highlander 2. Just saying. Worst movie ever. Well,
The worst movie that took itself seriously ever.
well, no, I thought it was supposed to be taking itself seriously, so that's
Yeah.
what I did.
Worse.
Matrix was pretty
That's a
bad.
bold statement. That's
Yeah.
a really bold statement because Matrix was
What's the
a
last time you
phenomenal-
saw Highlander 2?
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. Go back and rewatch
No, it's
that
really
shit.
bad. It's really bad.
That's still a bold statement.
Any even-numbered Star Trek movie.
Nah, because Highlander 2. Because remember how much everybody embraced and how awesome it was, and then we all go into Highlander 2 expecting things, and there's like a flying Birdman, and he shows up in the middle of the play, and he's and everything that was in the first movie got ignored. Oh, it broke the sky. The whole thing. It was just awful. Anyway, carry on.
Highlander 1 doesn't hold up as well as you want it to.
No, that's
Yeah.
true.
That's what
That's true.
Lokio
The series was better. Yes.
Yeah.
Which they ignore Highlander 2 completely.
Anyone watching Leftovers? The final season of Leftovers?
No.
No.
I had some tonight for dinner though.
It's fantastic. Good shit. I started to read the book. Oh my God. Horrible. I'm amazed that someone read that book and found enough quality in it to say, this should be an HBO series.
You know what? We should do an HBO series because I can fix this shit and make it better. That's probably what they said.
Maybe. I mean, just the way it's written it's written like a bunch of news reports, and it's just terrible.
You know what should have got a second movie and is never going to is Man from U.N.C.L.E. Did you see that remake? And why do we never talk about Alicia Vikander?
I don't know who
Yeah.
Alicia Vikander is.
You've seen her. You've seen her and stuff.
Girl crush. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
She's awesome.
Ex Machina.
Yeah, she played the robot girl.
Danish.
Oh, she's the second search if you write in Alicia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She's
Stone
amazing.
first.
And she's been in all kinds of stuff, and she is so good.
Right.
Oh,
Man
she's
from
Swedish,
U.N.C.L.E. was
of course.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. was a
Good
great movie.
It's a wonderful film.
She was in the Jason Bourne movie
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I saw that, but I don't remember her.
It's because she's a chameleon.
You know, I don't think. I don't recognize her, and I've seen some of these movies.
Huh.
She's
Yeah,
a
no, she's
chameleon.
awesome. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's like what was the movie? Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Mm-hmm. The lead character.
Donald Sutherland?
No, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Oldman.
Gary
Gary
Oldman.
Oh, the remake, not the original.
I watched it twice
Smite.
before I recognized him.
Yes, he's
twice.
famous.
I watched the whole goddamn movie, and I didn't
Yeah.
recognize
He's
him.
Such
an
a-
amazing
such a good
actor.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's famous for that. Kevin Kline as
What
well.
was the first thing you ever saw Gary
Yeah.
Oldman in?
That I recognized him as Gary Oldman. Would have been
The first thing you saw him in.
okay. I'm going to say that I recognize would have been The Professional
Mine
when he
was
played the.
Prick Up Your Ears or Sid Nancy. I don't know which one of those
Sid
came out
Nancy.
first.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
That's
when
after.
that's when you discovered him. Yeah.
That's the first one
Yeah.
I saw where I was like, damn.
That's when I was still buying every Gary Oldman movie. Because too many movies.
He was terrifying in The Professional. Is it The Professional what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
That's the one with the little girl.
Get
right?
everyone.
Yeah.
With what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, where he's
Leon.
the bad guy.
Yeah, he's like a DEA agent who's a bad guy.
That movie's awesome. I just rewatched that.
Yeah, The Professional.
Let's go.
So good.
My favorite moment out of that movie is actually is in the hallway with a cigarette hanging out of him, and he's got the gun, and the old lady shows up, and he goes, "Get back inside," and it just sums up the character
Leon,
so well for me.
The Professional would be an awesome two person RPG. Because I played Arya and the Hound with there were two of us.
Oh, that would be awesome, yeah.
It was so good.
You know what? I have been
Yeah.
wanting to play like 1-2 people RPGs
Yep.
for the longest time. It seems to be taboo. It's like, no, we need to have 5
Yeah.
people to play a game. I'm like, because
No.
everybody thinks there needs to be a role. I'm like, you could have 1-2 people playing. It makes it an awesome game. We should start that tradition.
Yeah. No, it
Anyway,
was
it's
a lot
supposed
of
You
fun.
get
be a
to
short-
really
it's supposed to be a
focus
short
on the
Here we
dynamic
go.
between those two characters.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Minnesota Horror Story
Alrighty.
from Jeffrey with one E.
Dear Stu and the Douchebag Crew, I heard in a recent episode that Gina was from Minnesota.
Is that true?
Totally true.
Where in Minnesota?
All true. Up in the far north.
You're a Youper?
In the North
Oh, that's,
Country.
No, that's
Michigan.
Oh my God, you say that every time. I think you want me to go.
It's a flyover. It's a
Yeah.
part of the flyover
Michigan's got
states.
Michigan's got the hand and the
So you're in Michigan?
no.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Even though I don't talk like that. But my
I bet you
Most
did.
of the time.
You
No,
probably went away.
there are words I say.
It comes out sometimes.
Yeah, if you listen to.
Are they going
certain
crazy
words,
down by
boot.
Moose Lake there?
A boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say oat, I think. Oat fit.
Oh, yeah.
And,
A boot.
Yeah.
We'll say a boot.
So,
sometimes.
okay, so there's something
Yeah.
I've always wanted to ask, like in Minnesota especially. It's like, when you saw
Yeah.
Fargo, did you think it was funny?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people in Minnesota would be like,
Well, Fargo's
they're-
not
they're down-
Minnesota.
I can finally watch a
No,
movie
but there are
makes
people
sense.
that talk like
Yeah.
my cousins
yeah.
who
Yeah.
grew up across town talked like that. I don't understand that. Because
They're like across the street.
Don't
5
talk
miles
like
from each
that.
other, right? Yeah. Yeah.
You got it.
There
You
are
got
a
any
lot of
chocolate glaze?
Scandinavian people there. Yeah, there. I heard. Oh, there we got that. That has inspired me to share my gaming horror story of the natural horrors of the northern Midwest and how you never leave the party. A Minnesota gaming horror story.
This actually is a
wait,
great
where's
idea. I'm going to
Yeah.
do Call of
Where's my-
Cthulhu based in
Where's my
Minnesota.
demon laugh? There it is.
Yeah. No, it is pre-start.
By the way, Fargo, the series, awesome. Started
Oh,
taping
yeah.
it.
It looks
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Started taping it. I caught one. I'm like, why have I not watched this? I know they say it was great. I didn't believe them. It's
You and
great.
McGregor's in that, huh?
You know what?
Yes.
Oh, you know what I'm watching? You know what I'm watching the entire Star Trek canon.
Right.
Again?
I knew that.
Okay, I don't need to watch the original series because I've seen every episode
The
probably a
BBC,
dozen times.
BBC's remastered them and it's really cool with new effects and stuff. It's worth watching.
I've still
again.
seen.
right,
I
fair enough.
know the stories.
Fair enough.
I watched all of the Next Generation.
Sorry.
I watched. It got good near the
Some
end.
of them. Some of them.
I watched almost all of Deep
Space
Space Nine.
Nine.
I had to skip sections of certain seasons because everyone kept saying, no, it's going to get really good when they get to the Dominion War. And they were right.
Yeah.
It did get good when it got to the Dominion War.
That's
That's fair.
The character development of the Gul Dukat and
Oh my
the
God, I love
Taylor
Gul Dukat.
and all those characters over the course of that 7-year run
Yep.
is fantastic. I mean, it really is. I mean, just watching what happens to the characters as they transform is just amazing. So now I'm on Voyager, which is the slog,
Yeah.
yeah.
because everyone says it never really gets
Anywhere.
good,
It never really goes anywhere.
but it is Star Trek.
Yes.
Which I'm not that. I'm
For
not a
me, you
huge
got to
Star
get
Trek.
past Cass, or at least I have to get past Cass.
Kess is the blonde girl.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
She's
she's.
Neelix's.
How old is she? Because she only lives 9 years,
Supposed
right?
to be only 2 on the show.
Oh well, she's in,
Yeah.
well unless she gets killed. Don't.
No, well, yeah, no, it's not.
Otherwise, she's going to die at the end of the series.
When 7 and
Yeah.
9 shows up, you can actually watch it more often. It's actually
Yes.
good to
Well, see,
watch. There's lots
I
of
didn't watch
things
it when
to
it
look
started,
at.
but I did watch a little bit of it for a little while, and I'm like, "Where's 7 and 9?"
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that she didn't start
Yeah.
out. With
Right.
Yeah, 2 of my favorite actresses right there.
Yeah. Poor Cleo.
No, I mean,
But
if I had to pick, I'm going to say what's her name from Enterprise,
That's the one I
The Vulcan.
started rewatching.
Jolene Blaylock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the skin. Anyway.
No, I love 7 and 9's.
It's the only reason to watch Voyager, isn't it? 7 and 9. I'm just saying, if you need a reason.
So far, I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far.
I got a picture of Gul Dukat in my kitchen.
Gul Dukat was an awesome character.
Freaking awesome. Yeah.
But I mean, to me, the Taylor. Did you? What's the
Oh,
movie
yeah.
that takes place in Central America? It's got Pierce Brosnan in it.
The Taylor.
Is it called the Taylor?
I think so.
Taylor of Panama?
Yes.
Maybe that's it. That
Yes.
might be it. Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, I think it takes place in Panama. Yeah. That character kind of reminds me of that. What's that guy's name?
Really?
What's that actor's name?
I don't know. Which actor?
The guy that played the Taylor
In
in the Taylor of Panama or whatever it's called.
I don't know. I can't tell
He's a
you.
famous guy.
Yeah.
That plays.
He's that guy.
You got it?
Anyway, keep reading while he looks
Okay.
it up.
A Minnesota gaming horror story.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
This story takes place in early January this year, when the temperatures were a high of 5 degrees and the lows were below 0.
Oh yeah, you know, it's still just enough to keep the mosquitoes from
Balmy.
coming out here.
Yep. Don't you know? We were we were to all meet at the Game Master's basement for a fabulous campaign of Mutants and Masterminds, 2nd edition.
Nice.
Jeffrey Rush.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Barbosa.
Right.
On this particular day, the GM's emails had given us warnings to walk in the snow along the side up his yard instead of using the very icy driveway. Because that's been Minnesota nice. This campaign has been a rejuvenating change from our nothing but Pathfinder games. As Stork knows, superhero games are the most fun.
Oh, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
There is a game master and 4 players on this day. GM, player 1, player 2, player 3, and me. We're about 4 sessions into the game. It's that sweet spot where you're just starting to get really good or really get your character. The story is starting to take off, but it also feels kind of new.
Yeah.
This session was pretty good, but player 3 is starting to do his usual thing. He tends to be a real headache for anyone running the game. Seems to have a problem with keeping his character with the party.
Is his name Rob?
Yeah, maybe.
Does he go down the wrong hallway?
Yeah.
Hey, I had just gotten new powers, and it was my characters. That's what Ransom would have done. We still talk about it. It's awesome. Nobody died.
No.
Nobody died.
The session ends for the night, and everyone is packing up and putting the layers of clothing back. Uh-oh, this is going to be a bad horror story if it's not at the table. And putting the layers of clothing back on to go warm up the cars.
It can't be too bad because people have their clothing on. So.
Yeah, well, they got to put clothes on to get
To
warm up cars.
Yes.
You see, in Minnesota, you need to go out and start the car and then come back in for a few minutes to let it warm up.
Yes.
It's better for the car and everything. Gina, tell them. I think I discussed this before. Like, yeah, we would
a
have
thing.
to. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Do you ever get out there and you can't open the door because
Well,
the ice is frozen? It's like the
Yeah,
worst.
and people plugged in
Yeah,
their
yeah.
Yes.
batteries, I
Yep.
guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have engine warmers, because
Yeah.
otherwise the crankcase oil will,
Gets too thick.
it gets too
Yeah.
thick, and you can actually break the motor that
And I
way.
can't tell you how many times my cat looked like it had gotten eaten by a blender because it went to go sleep on a warm motor, and then somebody would start their car up, and the cat would be like,
Or it just gets so cold that it won't turn over because
Yeah.
cold and lacer
sure.
aren't unless you get really cold and superconductivity
Yeah.
kicks in, which is almost
and
close to
ice
Minnesota.
scrapers.
But yes,
Ice scrapers.
yeah, that's
your
when you
windows.
can't get into your door because it's frozen shut.
Yeah.
That's the neat one.
But have you ever taken an extension cord, run it outside with an electric hairdryer to
No,
I've done it.
that's nuts.
I've done it to defrost the cat though.
I scraped the ice off a windshield with a shovel. Turns out you shouldn't do that.
No,
Don't do that. That's bad.
You should not
For
do
those
that.
of you that live in
Scratches
warm
the fuck out of
climates,
the-
if
Yeah.
you ever encounter this, credit cards work great for
Credit
scraping
cards work
windows.
great.
Oh, Minnesota ice would break that thing.
Yeah, it does, but they work great. I mean, it's either
Well,
that or
we
not
don't.
saving.
I mean, this was in La Mirada.
Yeah, that would work. So
It's
here's
it's like someone poured a Schlesser on my car.
So here's where it gets bad. Player 3 grabs his stuff and his jacket and he leaves. The rest of us hang around, chatting about the game, what to do about player 3's antics, etc. After about 5 minutes, I am next out the door. The first thing I notice is that player 3's truck is still parked on the street. I'm trying to carefully navigate the ice and snow over in my car while trying to figure out where 3 went. Then I see him. 3 is a big guy. He's over 300 pounds and over 6'2".
Wow, big guy.
He
Corn
is
fed.
prone right behind my car, and it sounds like he's moaning. I start to call to him, but cannot get to him because the driveway is literally glazed with ice. It's starting to look like the ice is exactly what took him out.
You'll have that.
His dice tower and books, oh my god, this is horrible, are scattered all over the driveway. Player 2 comes out. I give him an assessment of what's going on here. Player 2 takes a safer route around my car. Player 3 is now sitting up as 2 gets to him. Soon, 2 and I both are trying to ask if he's okay. But 3 hasn't said a word yet.
And he's too fucking big to stand up.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Yeah.
And you can't drag him on that ice.
No,
You
difficult
gotta get
terrain.
some sled dogs.
That's bad. He manages to get on his hands and knees and keeps trying to stand up again on the ice. Two and I cannot stop him. He's very strong. Each of us take an arm and very precariously force him to the snowbank where we can gain more secure footing. He still hasn't said a word, and it's so very cold. While Two and I were maneuvering Three, we've communicated to the other guys what's happened. GM is on the phone with 911, and player 1 has acquired a blanket from somewhere. It's in this position we stand and await the ambulance. They can even be heard from a ways off in the night. Exactly.
It's not 1930s France. Ambulances don't sound like that here.
An ambulance pulls up, followed by possibly, maybe in Minnesota they do, it's like the 50s there or something still. Pulls up, followed by possibly every squad car in this town. Uniformed people are everywhere.
Slow night.
I know. Three does start to respond to the paramedics. A guy asks him questions, and it's clear he's out of his mind. The most alarming thing was that although he clearly hit the back of his head on the ice, his nose was bleeding.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not good.
That cannot be good.
Nope.
Oh my God. Emergency people took over handling him and got him to the stretcher to get him up in the ambulance. They finally leave with him and all the squad cars meander off. Players 1, 2, GM, and me are left looking at each other in the cold. Player 3 is a friend of ours. We don't know him all that well. We have his email address, his home address, and one of us knew where he works. He doesn't have a cell phone, one of those off-the-grid kind of guys. Here's the kicker. Player 3's Mutants and Masterminds character has 2 main powers: gravity control and fast healing. It's unbelievable. Fade out. Later, Player 3's sister starts to feed us updates through Facebook for the next several weeks. The story that these posts illustrate is about a guy who is big, strong, and stubborn, exactly like each and every character he plays. It sounds like he spends a week in restraints because he keeps removing his feeding tube and catheter.
Jesus.
I
Well,
know.
that's common with
He's
a
got
head
a
injury.
fever that won't come down,
Yeah.
and the only word he says is all right. We're not sure if he's ever going to play again or if we'll ever see him again. After 3 weeks, his condition seems to improve, as indicated in the Facebook posts. Pretty soon, he's starting to correspond, and he's really looking forward to coming back to the gaming table. Towards the end of February, with the help of his sister, he sat down with us again. It was good, and he looked okay. But it was a little awkward. As we played, his sister sat over there in the corner and read her book. This changed the atmosphere quite a bit. Stu, do you want to finish? I read a whole bunch.
Oh, sure, okay.
Cool.
There was also some eggshells as we were trying to gauge how well 3 really was doing and if he's changed at all. Now, we're at the end of March at the time of this writing, and it seems 3 is back to normal and then some. His behavior has gone back to the usual split the party and then surpassed the original level to an extreme. 3's playstyle is amped up to the max. So that's brain damage. For example, in our current campaign, the GM has given our characters a plot hook to encounter a big bad in an abandoned nuclear power plant somewhere in Arizona. We mount up to go fight. 3 says his character is not going to go, but rather will be going to North Dakota to search Mount Rushmore for secret entrances and tombs, like in that Nick Cage movie.
Okay.
All right.
What the fuck? This came out of nowhere, was not part of, nor even hinted at in anything in our game before. So GM says, okay, sure you can. Way too nice and yes-anding. 3 is pretty much forcing an ongoing sidebar and refuses to join the party. We've tried big boy pants conversations with him before. Didn't work. This behavior is destroying the campaign. It will be interesting to see how the GM handles it. It's the first time the GM GMing player 3. Maybe you should go back to pouring oil on the
crap.
On the
Just
frozen
pour-
ice.
on the frozen ice
Yeah,
again.
just pour some warm water over the ice, works everything.
Salt.
It's like you conk him in the head
crap.
and his. It's like the Gilligan's Island thing. Well, conk him in the head again.
Yeah,
so he
conk
goes
him in the
back.
head. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm afraid we've simply broken the rule of don't play with assholes. There was a moment where we thought 3 had eliminated himself from our game, knocking his head like that.
No.
But he made a remarkable recovery, and now we're stuck with him. Well, at least he didn't die. You would feel terrible.
You would feel bad if he died.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was touch and go for a bit. Having suffered a traumatic injury,
Take a hit to the back of the
that
head,
shit can fuck with you.
and you're bleeding out your nose. That's like those really
that's-
delicate muscles
yeah.
underneath your brain are cracked or something.
No, your
That's-
brain is swollen, and it's
I
yeah.
don't
That's a
know.
brain injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your brain swells,
when
and
you
that's where the
bleed out
damage
your
happens.
ears
That's
or your-
a
yeah.
concussion.
Don't get me
Well,
going.
bad though.
And now we're stuck with him. Maybe that's unkind to say. Yes, God damn it, it is unkind to say. But if you really shouldn't, you should never call 911. No.
Holy crap though.
If you'd just driven away that night.
Well, we
Christ,
couldn't
no,
find
no. Happy Jacks would like to apologize. We are not in the
No.
habit of leaving people frozen
No.
to freeze to death in Minnesota. What's wrong with you guys?
No, but it'd be like suspended animation, right? It's that cold, right? But it's true.
No, it's
How
going to be
much
like
beer
the
did
end
he
of the
have?
thing where they just sit here and go,
How much beer did he have?
well,
Because it
Yeah.
might. It might.
No,
But
there's people that every year die of because they drink so much, and you know how you don't, you know.
You can't feel right.
No, and then they'll go sleep on their porch or something, and it's
pass
sub-zero,
out.
and they
It's like
yeah.
they end up
Freeze to
like
death.
they end up like
Yeah.
Ötzi. They don't find it until it thaws. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful.
No, it's horrible. This is truly a
And now we're stuck
Minnesota
with
horror
this may be
story.
unkind to say, but it's true how the rest of us feel.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my Michigan horror story. Sorry for the
Minnesota.
link. Minnesota horror story. Sorry for the link, Youpers. I'll try to let you know
Holy
how it
shit.
turns out if it's an entertaining story, and I'll try to keep the link down. Now take a drink.
That's amazing.
So inside baseball, I had a
Cheers.
traumatic head injury years and years ago. Knocked out my sense of smell, in and
Mm.
out of consciousness for days, weeks, and it.
I didn't
I've
know that.
recovered my. I didn't have to learn to speak.
I remember
again,
you
but
used to drink the
speaking
shittiest kind of beer.
Speaking was no. This is before I met you.
Oh.
Speaking was hard, and I stutter more now than I used to back then, and it has changed me, and I have a feeling that it's changed him as well.
That can happen. I had a friend who apparently had an ear infection but didn't know it, and it got bad enough where it created I don't know, bacterial infection or something on his brain. And he was in. We worked retail together, and he was trying to drop the tills in the morning, and he couldn't. He just kept hitting the register. Because he's like, this thing. What do you call this thing? Like
That's when everybody realized
Yeah, and he was
his brain
hospitalized.
was
They had to
swelling, yeah.
drill because there was swelling.
you have to let the
and-
pressure out. Yeah, it's a
And
whole.
like
It's
you
a whole
said, though,
thing.
he's never to this day. He
he's different.
stutters a little bit.
He's
Yeah,
different.
because he's super smart and well read, but he'll be like searching for a word or.
I mean, it didn't change me drastically, but
Yeah.
I know that the person I was before then and the person I am now is slightly different. And I do stutter a bit more than I used to since then, but that's not.
Wow.
The thing is, I know that brain injuries can really mess with the person they were, and it takes years sometimes for things to recover again. I have a feeling that what you're seeing is not the same person that he was, and the fact that his sister was there watching over him says a lot.
Yeah,
to me,
right.
right? So, and he's probably even looks differently. I mean, being basically a vegetable for a long time makes a 300-pound 6'2" guy probably a lot less. But the point being that he is going to be a very different person. As much as you would say he's an asshole, this gaming might be important to him.
Oh yeah, no, that's other.
I know,
was
and there's that
thinking.
guilt involved with that. If it's not fun in the game and just not invite him back, but I have a feeling there's deeper issues than you probably realize. Because head
that's what
injuries,
I'm
head
wondering.
injuries are weird, and it can take a long time to fully recover. You actually have to relearn how to do stuff. I lost my sense of smell, and it took a long, long time for it to come back.
See, I remember, I knew you when you didn't have a sense of smell, because you could
Yeah.
drink the shittiest beer,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, it's
No,
fine.
it's fine.
I can't taste it
Yep.
anyway.
Yep.
That's nuts. Yeah, because it says about him splitting the party before, but that whole doing the Nick Cage in the Black Hills thing or whatever, Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore sounds totally Dada, like
Yeah.
surreal.
Yeah.
It
Like-
might actually just be him saying, I'm really tired of this game. I want to do something else. Yeah.
or just like not connecting all the.
We had a player once that used to, I remember we were playing this game and we brought him in, and two episodes he was fine, and obviously it wasn't the center of attention, he didn't like it, and he just started throwing wrenches. And he didn't say, I don't want to be this and this, I don't want to do this anymore. He just started deliberately sabotaging the game, so where we stopped and like, do you want to talk about this or something? And he got mad and stormed out. But anyway, the point being that he didn't know how to say to us he wasn't having fun, so he just sabotaged the game. I know. We're grown-ups now, and looking back, that seems really childish. And we were 15 and 16-year-old boys. But the point being, there's a lot of grown-ups that still can't communicate stuff, especially if you've had a traumatic head injury.
Who here has tried to kill their character ever?
Just to get out of a game?
Like,
I don't think so.
I am tired of playing this character.
Yeah.
I am going to kill this character.
One of the times I was
maybe.
playing Dungeon Crawl Classics, and we're doing the funnel, so I got 4 characters. It became an exercise in how fast can I kill off 4 characters.
Right.
So I can get out of this game.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been so like, F this. Let's see what happens if I
I mean,
kill
I don't
my
want to Psych
character.
101 him, but I think that there's deeper issues going on, and I have a
It kinda
feeling
sounds
that
like it.
I have a feeling that you
Maybe
know
it will
that,
be.
judging from the tone of the email.
Could be.
And
All right.
Yeah.
We're done? I'm going to call it.
Yeah. Everybody was in the chat room talking about people they know that had head injuries.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
it changes
scary.
them.
Yeah.
Move out of places where it freezes. What the fuck?
Oh man, that was a Minnesota
Actually,
horror
don't
story.
do that. Don't do that. Stay
I
there.
was just like,
Stay there. Don't come here. Stay there.
that was
Our freeways
scary.
are already fucked.
And they're not even covered in ice.
Thank you for joining us for season 19, episode 8 of Happy Checks RPG Podcast. My name is Stu,
This is Gina.
This is good.
This is Stork.
and we'll see you next week on Friday for the next show, Happy Checks RPG Live.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow we have our meetup at
That's right.
the Renaissance Pleasure Fair.
If you're in the SoCal area,
Sunday
come
is
visit us.
Desert of Despair on Sunday.
Tomorrow.
Monday
Monday's
is Riffs.
Yeah.
And Tuesday is Character Gen for a one-shot,
yeah.
which is a pre-Mode of Sin game, but it's during the week, so I didn't invite you. Unless you want to play,
4 days of Happy
but it's going to
Jacks.
go to like 10:30 at night.
I can't do that.
I didn't think
In the middle of
so.
the week.
So that's it. Thank you very much.
5 days.
We'll leave you with a song.
5 days.
The preceding program has been a presentation of the Angry Folk Media Empire.
You dress in the manner of a male prostitute.